Another major purchase that you should be well informed about is buying a pet. It's a decision that carries a lot of responsibility and costs. From food to the vet bill, Americans are expected to spend more than $50 billion on their pets this year. Kelli Grant, senior consumer reporter for SmartMoney.com, joins us with some pet buying tips. Kelli, as always, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You know, the normal routine, you go into the store, you go, ooh, I want that one. Probably not the best idea. Do some research. Figure out if you can afford it.
You definitely want to think about which pet is the right pet for you. I know we talked before you don't have a pet,
No.
so this is important research for you, Terrell.
Yeah.
We talked to a woman actually she was an iguana owner, and then she worked for a pet store, and then found out that they actually were putting bark chips in the bottom of the tanks that could kill the iguana. So when you're looking and doing all this research, you want to make sure that you don't really look at the pet store display as the end-all be-all of what you're going to need when you get home. Oftentimes the tanks are too small, the experts tell us, and they don't really give you the real depth and breadth of what you're going to need to spend to keep that animal in good condition.
And you do have pets, by the way, right?
I do. I have 2 cats, so I can tell you all about the crazy pet expense
exactly
that
what you're
entails.
talking about. Really look into where you're getting the pet from, and this can be a touchy issue.
Yes, this is really one of the most contentious issues when it comes to pet stores, is where do those puppies in the window come from? And a lot of pet stores actually have moved away from selling dogs and cats to adopting them, but the pet stores themselves will say that they only work with USDA licensed breeders, but animal welfare advocates say that that's really not good enough. The federal standards are so low that you get so-called puppy mills, which are basically commercial breeders with really inhumane conditions. So try to look for adoptions, try to go to a local breeder, and if you really do have to go to the pet store, maybe there's no local breeder nearby, then at the very least get some of the paperwork to understand which breeder that puppy is coming from and make sure it's got a clean record.
On top of taking care of the pet, just the basic needs, you also really need to consider that vet bill and brace yourself.
Definitely brace yourself. This can be very, very expensive, especially if you're talking about pet store animals. We had vets that told us that very, very common to have parasites, intestinal disorders, a lot of very scary and very expensive disorders that can actually be very dangerous for your pet as well. And also, frankly, you want to be bracing for the doctor bill for yourself as well. Oftentimes, some of those same diseases that can make your animal sick can make you sick as well.
Which is a pretty amazing thing. It's not the kind of thing that you think about, but that's not so far-fetched. That's something that the animal has, even in the pet store, can be passed on to you.
Yes, and that's like, you don't even want to be touching the animals without really thinking about this. Something like salmonella, very easy to contract from turtles that are in the stores. A lot of other reptiles can also be carriers. The CDC has also tracked some really scary cases of more severe diseases too that have been tracked back to pet store animals. So make sure that you are washing your hands before you touch the animal and after, and really being careful with that.
So you got to feed the thing. There are some.
I can tell you don't.
Sorry, I don't have any pets. You can tell, right? A couple of things to think about here. Do you go to your favorite pet store? Do you use the supermarket or a superstore? What are the best options?
They do need to eat, and you do need to feed the thing, as you put it. So when you're shopping around for pet supplies, you want to think about going outside of the supermarket, or outside of the pet store rather, and looking to the supermarket, big box stores, places even like the dollar store. They often have better deals on cat litter, litter boxes, leashes, toys, all of those extra things that you need. And when it comes to the food, they often do have better prices on food when it's on sale. Of course, the catch is that there is a lot of pet food now that's premium that you can't get anywhere other than the pet store. And in that case, just shop around, make sure you're getting the best deal.
I do really like dogs, though. Seriously. I like cats, too. So if you ever need somebody to babysit.
That's going to be our next project. We'll get you a pet.
Bring them on over. We'll make that happen. Kelli Grant, senior consumer reporter for SmartMoney.com. Kelli, thank you so much.
Thank you.